Thank you, Secretary of State, Mr. Morales, for taking the time for the interview. We greatly appreciate your willingness to share your insights on how Donald Trump's policies could impact the benefit in the South Asian community in North America, especially in transportation and manufacturing industries. So my question is to you. During Donald Trump presidency, the USMCA replaced NAFTA, boosting domestic manufacturing, transportation, and hospitality industry. How do you believe the especially benefited South Asian community involved in these sectors?
Well, first of all, thank you for visiting the Indiana Secretary of State's office. We are proud to make sure that we host all businesses, every single business, including the transportation industry, the LLCs, the corporations, are registered under the Secretary of State's office. So we're proud to do that here. When it comes to, obviously, your question, we want to make sure you know that under the Trump administration, under his first term as the president, our countryside boomed on the economy growing, benefiting minorities, not just the South Asian community or the Indian community, but the Latino community. More minorities were actually so successful during the first administration of President Trump. And I am proud to say that I'm supporting President Trump, and I hope we will send him again into the White House because he is the only one. He's a businessman. He thinks with that business mentality to create jobs, to attract jobs. So if President Trump is in the White House, guess who benefits? All of us.
Yes. So also the Sunset Clause 16 in the USMCA requires a review in 2026. What do you foresee as the potential consequences in transportation and hospitality if Mr. President not get reelected and the agreement is altered under different administration?
Well, I believe in free enterprise. President Trump believes in free enterprise, on growing the economy. If that would happen, I'm afraid, our country will go in decline. I'm afraid more jobs will be shipping out of the United States. Under a Trump presidency, and including my administration as Secretary of State, our job is to grow the economy, to attract more investment. In fact, I'm focusing on trade. So if there will be a different administration in the White House, I'm afraid our country will go even in decline. Look at the inflation right now.
Yes.
Inflation is going up. Look at this past almost 4 years. The rise of groceries is going up. Fuel, transportation. I can go on and on and on. It all is going up. Under the first 4 years of President Trump, every single American, they were not worried about going to the grocery stores. Now, if you go to the grocery stores with $100, you only buy a few things. Under a Trump administration, you were able to buy a lot. So that's when you can measure all of that. So I hope people will see this, and I hope when people, including South Asians here in America, I hope they can see this. So when they go to the polls, they can vote for the right person who will help them go back to prosperity.
Thank you. So another question is, many South Asians are employed in transportation, hospitality, and manufacturing industries. During Trump's presidency, these sectors saw economic growth. What steps does the GOP plan to take ensure continued progress for these communities if they regain the control of presidency and Senate?
Well, I think some of the steps that the White House, the Senate, and the House will do is deregulation, to deregulate, to make sure that we can take some of the burden out of business owners, specifically in the transportation industry. I'm afraid now, under this administration, they're putting more regulations, more bureaucracy. I'm a big believer that we should be taking the bureaucracy out of your way. We should be staying out of your way and giving you the tools and resources to buy one more truck, to hire one more driver, right? So I believe what will happen on a second term of Trump presidency, and as you said, the Senate,
Yes.
we will deregulate a lot of, will be undoing a lot of some of these laws that is been in place already from the current administration. But also, they will focus on tax breaks. They will focus on incentives for, small, medium, or large businesses. I tell you, I know your community. I know many South Asians, they are in the trucking industry. Many of them, have 5, 10, 20, 30, 50, and so forth trucks. Many of them, most immigrants here in this country are the hardest working people I ever know, including myself.
Mhm.
So I know they only are looking for an opportunity. And our job, as I said, as the government, is just to stay out of your way and help these business folks to create more jobs, buy more trucks, hire more people, and continue to contribute and grow the economy.
Thank you. So another one is like, there is even talk, many large transportation companies and small transportation companies going bankrupt under the current administration. Could you provide insight in how a Trump presidency would ensure to reverse these trends of bankruptcy or going under financial stress?
Well, again, that's what I said. You see two visions. One is a vision of prosperity, a vision of free enterprise, a vision of giving you the money, like the money that you earn, your hard-earned money, you should be able to reinvest that into your business. Unfortunately, the current administration, they don't believe in that.
Yes.
They believe on like, hey, you're making some good money, you gotta give me that money. And then we can put it in the government. And then we can distribute that to others, right? That's not my way of thinking. And I know President Trump, as I said, he thinks like a businessman. He wants to make sure that folks have the tools and resources they need to be successful. And I believe what they're going to do, as I said, first and foremost, they're going to deregulate a lot of bad laws that has been passed that will put more, burden on business owners.
Yes.
But I believe they're going to focus on tax, on tax breaks and incentives. I believe under a Trump administration, they are going to focus specifically on helping small business owners, whether you own one truck or two or five. I believe here in Indiana, I cannot speak all across the country, but I can tell you, here in Indiana, we're so focused on helping small business owners. I give you a quick example. I've been going all over the world promoting Indiana, selling Indiana just as the salesperson for Indiana. And I've been bragging about other countries that, we have the best soybean, the best corn. Why I bring this example to you? Since we're selling our crops to other parts of the world, guess who's gonna go and get those crops in the farms in Indiana? Truck drivers, truckers, to take them to the ports. And then I just came back from Germany. Here in Indiana, we have 4 auto manufacturing plants. We have Toyota, Subaru, Honda, and GM. I know many in the transportation industry, they're the ones who haul all these parts of cars when they arrive here. But at the same time, I was in Germany and I encouraged Volkswagen to come and set up shop here for a new plant. Now, if that would happen, guess who will benefit? Truck drivers.
Yes. All the minorities working for these kind of jobs.
So not only that, but also it will help a lot of minorities who
Yes.
own hotels,
Yes.
restaurants, in the real estate business. So it's a win-win. My goal is I'm looking forward to working with President Trump. By the way, I myself, Diego Morales, have endorsed President Trump. I'm working very hard to get him elected. I look forward to working with him to create more prosperity in my case, for my fellow Hoosiers who live here in Indiana, and I know he will do a good job to create prosperity for the rest of the nation.
Thank you. So, should the GOP regain control of both presidency and Senate, what specific measures would be taken to support these business owners and workers in these fields, as you said in the beginning, I think?
You know, one of the specific steps, as I said, is take all the burden out of the way. You know, let's not put in place more laws. May I say bad laws that will hurt truck drivers,
Yes.
that will hurt small businesses, small entrepreneurs. Again, we're talking specifically about the transportation industry.
Yes.
But this can hurt, again, owners of the restaurants, owners of hotels, owners, just whatever it is. You know, I'll tell you this. I'll give you an example. Before I became Secretary of State, I was in the private sector, and I know a little bit of logistics. I know a little bit of the staffing industry.
Yes.
You know, you have to hire good people and then place them. I remember sometimes I was asked, we're trying to hire CDL drivers. And I'm telling you, I come from the staffing industry. Looking for CDL drivers is very hard.
Yes.
First of all, because, you know, getting a CDL, it's not easy.
You're right.
And then you need to do your physicals and everything. It's a lot of responsibilities. Guess what? They need to get paid well.
Yes.
And in order to pay them well, we need to make sure create more prosperity for them. So I'm always going to advocate, and I know President Trump because I know him. Look, in fact, you see my pictures here with
Yes,
him.
I noticed it.
And others, because we want to make sure that we can run not only here the Secretary of State's office or Indiana, but also the country with that free enterprise mentality, with that private sector mentality, so we can attract more investment. That's what I'm doing a lot of times. Attracting investment, focusing on trade. And guess who benefits? All these small businesses like you're referring to in the transportation industry. So it's a win-win for everyone, but someone has to start focusing on the economy. And I'm afraid that when people start talking about other issues besides of the economy, you know, I think it's wrong. And here is another issue. You know, we've been seeing a big influx of illegal immigration. That can hurt as well.
Yes.
You know, so this is a subject that we can stay here all day. But I believe what I want your audience to understand is, as myself, Diego Morales, I've been a big supporter of the Sikh community. Being supporter, I know many of you in your community who own transportation companies. I visited them. Yes. I've been going to your gurdwaras, I've been going to your weddings, to your birthdays, unfortunately to some funerals too. So I know your community. You cannot have a better ally than Diego Morales to the Sikh community here in Indiana and across the nation.
Thank you, thank you. So can you outline the specific benefits that Trump administration would bring to these industries, since the transportation industry is the backbone of the economy? 80% of the economy depends on the transportation industry.
So one of the things that I believe, this is what I would do if I had the power, is to start making sure that we need to lower the prices, the cost. Like if you own a truck, guess what? You're going to have to change the tires all the time, right? You have to have an inventory.
Yes.
This is why you need to be a good truck driver. And I believe a good truck driver, you know what they do, good truck drivers? If they want to save money for their own company, first of all, they better drive well, because I always give this example in fact, to everybody that I talk to. I said, when you start driving, since we're in the transportation subject here, you always start driving ahead. And when you start seeing people braking, you just slow down, don't brake. You only brake when you have to, because guess what? If you do that, you're not going to have to change the brake pads all the time.
Yes.
I mean, those little things, when you're going to have to buy all the necessary inventory that you need to repair those trucks. everything is money. I'm telling you, the trucking industry is one of the hardest industries that I know. People don't realize that. In addition to driving long hours, long days, obviously. So what I believe what the Trump administration will do is that he will make sure that all truck drivers or entrepreneurs will have that opportunity to have affordable costs for their services, for their products, for their inventory that they need for their equipment. But at the same time, create more jobs. Because now I'm telling you, I talked to some of your business colleagues. Sometimes, because some of them they have to bid to obviously to run loads from
Yes.
point A to B,
You're right.
and they shouldn't be. And I'm telling you, this is one of the things that I encourage also your community. They need to become certified minority owned and operated with the city or with the state so they can have more opportunities. There is a lot of opportunities out there, not only for the transportation industry, but for other industries. We got to look for those opportunities. And we are here as a resource. So I make the Secretary of State's office, specifically our business services division, available to all of you. Reach out to us so we can share with you what opportunities you have so you can make sure be prosperous. Look, America is an exceptional country.
You're right.
We all came, I'm an immigrant myself as well.
Mhm.
I came to America chasing that precious American dream that we like to brag about, which is real. But we have to look for those opportunities. And I know many from your community they've been so successful on what they do. All we ask is an opportunity, is a shot. And let's keep the government out of out of their backs,
Mhm.
and let's give them that's a clear field to create more jobs, to hire more people, to buy one more truck, to invest. I'll tell you this right now, I'll finish this. One of my one of the things that I like to do when I visit businesses all across the state of Indiana, when I arrive to their business, I always say, thank you for investing in Indiana. You don't really hear politicians
You're
going
right.
to thank them. Whether you own one truck or two, you're part of our economy. And you say that I like to say this, that small business owners are the backbone of our Hoosier economy here in Indiana. So to all your audience, if you own one truck, two or three or 50 fleet trucks, thank you for investing in Indiana. We are grateful to you. And as long as I'm here in the Secretary of State's office, please reach out to me. I will be looking for ways to support you to make sure that at the very least here in Indiana, we can have your back.
So, Mr. Morales, so since it's not only about United States, and also Canadian side and Mexico side, a lot of jobs are related to in transportation industry, especially these minorities, South Asian communities are surviving because of this major trade. They're depending on it. So, since there is an election next year, next month. So, what is your message to these communities? What they should do, who should they vote, and what they should do to make a final decision to when it comes to the election?
Well, my message to them is please get out there and vote. If you live here in Indiana, today starts the first day of early voting. They can go to the courthouse during office hours, and also they can vote the 2 Saturdays before election day or on election day. But I encourage them to take advantage of this early voting and to go in person in the courthouse to vote. And when they arrive there, they have to compare. Here is how much I pay for groceries, for gas at the pump, and under this current administration, and here is how much I used to pay under the Trump administration. You see, as Secretary of State myself, I'm the chief election officer. Usually I tell others that I cannot really tell them who to vote for because that's not my job. I ask them to do their homework, their research. Now, if I take my hat off, obviously, as chief election officer, on a personal level, as Diego Morales, absolutely, I'm gonna vote for President Trump because under his administration, the 4 year, our country was prosperous. And I believe under a Trump administration again, if he should win here on November 5th, our country will go back to be even more prosperous, and we will have more opportunities to grow, and we can create one more job. We can buy one more truck. I believe that's what we will see. But of course, I can tell you is I know President Trump. I met him a few times. I've been on the phone with him. I know he has his best interest, not only for the Latino community, but also for the South Asian community. I know him, and I know he will fight for all minorities here in America.
Thank you, Mr. Morales. So for your time, and as you give a message to all the audiences and also the South Asian or other community voters, please, November 5th, listen to Mr. Morales' message and vote President Trump and Don Belt, all the GOP candidates. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Morales. Good to see you. Thank you.